Hello, folks. Today we are joined by a very talented builder within the Empyrion community. He's also a talented music composer and graphic designer, utilizing both skills to deliver a professional workshop presentation for his builds. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, CrazyZ. Hello, Crazy.
Hey, how you doing?
So, how did you get into Empyrion?
Oh, that was years ago. A former coworker of mine dragged me into the game, and since he knew that I was a passionate Minecraft player, he thought it would be a good idea to introduce me to the game. And well, I to this day I didn't regret his invitation.
Were you an early backer of Empyrion?
No, I just purchased the game for $20, like many of us did, and yeah, that's all.
So, coming with the background of Minecraft, presuming that the creative aspect was the bigger draw here for the game, or was there some appeal with the survival mode?
Yeah, of course. No, nothing to do with the survival mode, actually. He told me, hey, I know you are a Minecraft player and you love building things from scratch, and you can do that in this game, but with spacecrafts and bases and stuff. And yeah, that caught my attention. And yeah, that's all to it.
Did you make wakes over there in the Minecraft community?
Did I? Sorry?
Did you make waves? Were
No,
you
nothing. No. I was playing by myself mostly.
so what other builder games have you played?
Actually, all the builder games I've played were afterwards, after Empyrean, like Valheim, for example, or now actually 7 Days to Die.
Oh, okay.
In the early days, I was that was at Windows 3.1 times. It was Transport Tycoon that I loved and played for 3 years in a row.
Okay.
But
Transport
you
Tycoon.
cannot compare that. It's not a builder game anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, you build stuff, you build tracks, and yeah,
Nah, that's a classic.
yeah, it is. There's actually a new version, an open source version online. Have you seen that yet?
No, I have not. I have not.
I've installed it on my computer. It's really pretty much the same like in the old days, but with far more options, and you can even play it online.
That's awesome. I have to
Hmm.
check that out. You'll have to stream
Yeah, I'll
that.
send you the
Okay.
link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so a lot of what goes into your production value with the workshop posts and stuff like that, a lot of music and graphic design. Do you have a background in those, or is that something that's self-learned?
It's mostly self-learned. I used to work as a 3D environment artist in the games industry. Back in the days, it's already 9 years ago since I left. Um, so maybe I have an eye for 3D dimensions and optics and maybe aesthetics, but I'm not that far educated that I would call myself a professional. Same goes for music. I always used to have a band, and because I couldn't stand figure out new, or composing new songs with my bandmates, I was annoyed by that. I hated jamming. I hate to jam. So I wrote the songs all by myself at home using DAWs like Cubase. And from there on, I educated myself in recording, yeah, music.
Wait, so you were in a band?
At the
What?
moment, I'm not.
Well, so you were. So what? Like, what role were you? Were you?
I'm a guitar player.
Oh, okay. All right. That explains some things.
Maybe. But also my interest for 80s music and synthesizers got me into this, especially in combination with the space theme of Imperium, got me into synthesizer programming and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hmm. Uh, is it a band that maybe we would know about publicly, or that just kind of a local thing?
You mean, do I have something in my mind to plan a new band, or?
Well, I mean, so could we search for the band on the internet
Yeah,
or?
you can. You can. I have two former bands that might have drawn some attention. The one is called Black Messiah.
Hmm.
That is, the band still exists. It's a pagan Viking metal band. We had some moderate success over Europe. I was also on two European tours, really professional with a nightliner and stuff like that. And the other one was my self-created band called Hangover, but that was a short term thing. It was lasted about 4 years, and I got, if any of you metal guys remember the band called Sodom. It's
Yeah.
a German thrash veteran band. The former drummer joined my band, and so we got some more attention from it.
Oh, that's sweet.
But we also have a video online. But the band is it's dead, Jim.
uh, okay, yeah. So that's interesting. I didn't know about that. That's cool. Um, so in regards to building, so do you approach with like aesthetic first and factor in function later, or well, how do you build?
That's a good question. When I started building for Empyrion, I didn't imagine, I couldn't imagine that I would leave a footprint onto the workshop. It was just my first workshop build was actually just out of curiosity. It took weeks till I figured out that you could upload your build onto the workshop. And so I did, and I sold the first one of that, and actually the second one. The first one got lost into the, I don't know, save game status somewhere. And that one I put out on the workshop and did some promotion text, some description, like it's a second used car, with low mileage, about 125,000 AU and stuff like that, just for fun.
Yeah.
And it didn't draw much attention, of course. And after that, I built another one, and then I put it on the workshop. And I remember the day it was. I put it out on the workshop, and then the day after, it was weekend, and me and my guys, we went to Berlin to watch a Toto show. Um, you could say a man's weekend, with the boys and stuff like that. A lot of drinking and on the second day, I just peeked onto my mobile and into the Steam workshop and found my second build on the front page, and I got insane. I couldn't believe it.
Which build
With
was it?
this was the Chimera.
Okay.
This is this. Can you see me
Hold on, let's see here. Yeah. Okay, let me come over to you.
with the
Yeah.
this one here? And it hit 450 subs within 2 days, and I couldn't believe it.
So this was your breakout moment.
Yes, and I thought, well, that was a surprise to me. And this one I built entirely on the in survival mode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with scaffolding and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Come on.
No mirror mode, no nothing, no M2 key menu.
No, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Is,
Mm-hmm.
is that something you learned about later that there was the survival mode? That happened to a
Yeah,
lot of us.
just yeah. I know that Jay Rendell told the same story, and he approached me after that. I don't know. We got into touch, started to chatting with each other, and then I was building another much bigger SV, and that one partially I did also build in survival till I figured out there is a creative mode. Yeah, I was surprised because he approached me with a Steam chat message and told me, "Hey, those screenshots with the scaffolding were pretty immersive." And I said, "Yeah, I needed those to climb up the high points to place my blocks." And he started laughing because he went to the same process like I did. He didn't know it as well.
That's funny.
There's such a thing like a creative mode now. You're kidding me? Yeah.
How many hours do you reckon that you put into survival building before you realize there was creative?
Oh, way too much. I recall, I don't know how much time I spent on this one because I spent it within my session with my coworker when we played in survival. So it might have taken some 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know. Because in between we were doing missions and exploration and I know for fact that I spent for the Adriatic Princess, this one, the big one here, which is an SV, 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, and this was, I'm pretty sure that I built those nacelles on the side, which all have interior, complete interior, and are connected to the main frame. Those were constructed in survival as well as the side thruster nacelles. And then eventually I figured out how to work with the creative mode, and I did the rest.
Yeah, this is very uncommon to see this sort of texture work for you. Now it's all smooth.
No, that's an issue. But that's a patch issue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after some version, they have. I
But,
think they have changed the ID, the block ID, and the texture ID. This was all plain white.
huh.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I never did like the standard steel texture.
Yeah.
So no.
Uh, what sci-fi themes have influenced you?
Um, that's a good question because yeah, obviously like Star Trek and Star Wars, I would say, but I never did put in too much influences by Star Wars and Star Trek movies because I wanted to do my own thing. And then my love of for real life yachts and supercars and things like that took over.
Yeah.
And I tried to combine the sci-fi theme with naval industry yacht design, stuff like that.
It's a very good blend, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, I know you're doing this as well. Meanwhile, some cases.
In some cases. Uh, so has anyone within the build community influenced you or your builds?
Yeah, of course. That's easy to say. It was Keith,
Yeah.
former, you know him. Yeah, and the build was the I guess it was called KSV Etheria. That one was actually that one got me into the luxury yacht design because once I saw this thing and I think there were also there was a video on YouTube how one was entering and all the automatic lights went on and all the wood trim and carpet. I got hooked on that and I think, wow, I'm gonna build that kind of thing. That was actually why I did the interior that way on the Chimera on my second SV.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, if you go inside, you can see similar um, aspects of yeah, carpet and wood trim and yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's sort of a, I know we've talked about it before, but Keith was sort of like a common influence for both of us in that regard.
Yeah, yeah, he was. He did some crazy things. Not only with the interior, but also the outside shaping and angles and stuff. It took me 2 days to figure out how he did those open angles with beam-like structures that I had to dismantle the whole thing block by block to learn how to do it. And still to this day, I'm struggling with his technique, really.
Yeah.
So it was a hard thing to pull off this my version of the Etheria, this Fethusa.
Yeah.
And this one was really a pain to build, but I'm pretty lucky. And I've always also contacted Keith, and we are still in touch from time to time. And he was so proud, and he was so lucky, and gave me the green lights. Yeah, put it on the workshop. I feel honored, and yeah.
What part of the
It's
build?
also my
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it's also my favorite build.
Yeah, really, is it?
Yeah, it's not even my design, but yeah, it's my favorite build.
Wow. Okay. Well, it is a beautiful build, very inspirational. Again,
Yeah.
I remember looking at this thing and like, wow, I was just marvel with it, looking at the Etheria and the common blueprints, and thinking, man, because originally I thought it was like a CV, but it just turned out to be a big SV.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wait.
what's
Let,
it?
is this the original? Let me spawn the original side by side.
Yeah,
Here we
there
go.
it is.
Yeah, it's a beauty. Yeah, it's unique. And if you look at the workshop, it has been downloaded about, I don't know, 15,000 times.
So much has changed since then, like the thrust values and
Yeah.
but as far as the aesthetic, it still holds up. I like it.
Yeah.
Block work is still great. It's got some upgrade potential too. It's got the ports on the nose for guns, if I'm not mistaken.
Could
Some
be.
some on the side here too. Yep, yep. It was definitely ahead of the game here with the upgrade points and stuff like that. Um, so speaking of building, what part of the build process is most annoying to you or time consuming?
The promotional work afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's my own fault. I decided to do the shit, and yeah, I did it, and now I have to do it all the time. Every time when I release something, I have to stick to my standards, and yeah. So the building process itself, it's not the most annoying. Yeah, depends. Okay, if I'm building, which I hate to do, a big CV, the most annoying part for me is filling the whole interior up with stuff, with hallways, and because you see, after you're done with shaping the whole thing out, you look inside and you see this hole, this big gaping hole of emptiness, and you think to yourself, Jesus, I have to fill this all up with interior. That's the most annoying thing when it comes to building, in my case.
Um, so typically with your releases, you tie in maybe a video. Um, you have a lot of post production on the workshop page itself.
Yeah.
So it's an entirely big package, I imagine.
Yeah, it's self-constructed. I'm my own worst enemy, and I hate myself for this. But yeah, but that's part of the immersion. I when I started doing this, it was like, oh, let's pretend I own a big as luxury production factory brand kind of thing, and yeah,
Nice.
people loved it, and then I had to do it again and again.
You set the standard. Well, it's yeah, you're renowned within the build community for that standard.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
I know. Yeah, and it's I feel honored that the people like my stuff, and afterwards I'm happy when after every release I open up a bottle of beer and say thank you, thank God it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most work goes into the post production, of course. And I'm not doing videos for each of my builds, but along the workshop artworks and logo design and screenshots and animated GIFs, and then implementing all of this stuff onto the workshop with links, and then, yeah, that is annoying work.
So, what part of the build process do you most enjoy of it?
Creating building interiors in SVs.
NSVs in particular, huh?
Yeah, because you have so much more possibilities to fill empty room with detailed. Because of the small blocks, you have more Minecraftish options to fill the whole interior with life. You know, with immersion and little cabinets, little water closets and beds and like stuff like that.
LCDs.
LCDs. Oh yeah. Speaking of LCDs, I'm not going to do any new LCDs in a unknown future. Yeah,
Well,
best example is, yeah, look at this. You know, the protagonist.
I'm inside of it right now looking at the
Yeah,
LCD.
that was that alone. The LCDs took me, I guess, 3 weeks to
Damn.
get them all done. Yeah,
Mm. They look fantastic, though.
because there was so much room left for LCDs. I started with 3 LCDs, and then I thought about, yeah, let's just mirror them to the other side. And then I thought, nah, that's not, nah, I have to do it now. I have to finish this. Yeah, that's when the pain began, and I also did the blinking effects. You see some cursors blinking on and off. Apparently not
Is signals
right
off?
now. I'm looking. Are the signals off? No, they are. Maybe it's an issue with two people in the same playfield. I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah, I had to do multiply LCDs that are projecting the same LCD, just with a little change in graphics to make some things blink like a cursor on things like that.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Great work.
Yeah, and I always try to build the interior of an SV like I would like to live in myself, you know?
Yeah, I like this little core icon you got there. That's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So we've gone over which of your builds is your favorite. Which one is your least favorite?
Ooh, the ones I didn't spawn here, maybe?
Okay.
Oh, there's one that I really don't like, and I haven't looked upon it in since I've released, or I gave it to Xgal for its challenge. It was a challenge that has dealt with combat CVs. That was in 2019 or something. Let me look it up quickly. Um, I think this is the most disgusting build I ever built. Oh no, there's another one. Do you remember Xcal's challenge where we had to build asymmetrical builds?
Uh, Vaguely. I don't know if I was there for that one. I might have.
Oh,
Might.
there was something. I called the ship Quasimodo.
Yeah.
Because it was so ugly. And I haven't released it to the workshop.
Let's have a look.
And Xcal, after reviewing it, Xcal said, it's beautiful. Release it to the workshop. I said, no, no way. This will ruin my reputation. No, I'm not doing that.
Yes,
Uh,
where you at? Spawn this thing in. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I do have it on my in my library, but I can show you the maybe the other one. Pilgrim. No, I don't have it. If you look at my workshop, there's a CV called Pilgrim. That's another thing that I hated so much but I did release it on the workshop, but I don't know why. And Quasimodo, no, I don't have that one either. No, sorry. There's no sensation going on here. Let me think. No, I think yes, there was another one I hated. Not sure what the name was. Was also a small CV. The aesthetic. Let me look if I have this one. Luckily, no. Yeah, this one was also a asymmetrical build, and because of the limitation of the size of a small CV, it looked like a freaking Millennium Falcon, but in a bad way. And I never intended to copy anything out of Star Wars, you know.
Just
Are you looking it up right now? Or?
I'm actually looking at the opulence right now.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I don't know why I did build the opulence. I have no clue because I thought I would try to do a dual hanger nacelle combination, and that was the way I started this build from the rear to the front.
I actually like the what is it, the hexagonal texture in here. This looks great.
Where is it?
At the center of the opulence where you have the splash of the name. You get the sphere, you get the stairs leading down,
Ah, yeah, here I'm here. Yeah.
and you get the wrap around here of the hexagons. This actually looks great here, like how the
Yeah, I love this. I'm using this texture a lot because it represents like I don't know some high value material that is like chrome. You know.
yeah, like a metallic sheen. So it's getting some good
Yeah.
reflection from the sun right now. So it just looks really
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Um, so in regards to Empyrion overall, what features do you think could improve the game?
There are a lot. uh, yeah, depends of what type of game you are playing. If you are playing survivor, I would suggest first sort of the bounding box issues with the enemies, the NPCs, the AI also, and for the building, for the creative mode, give us please more textures and sort out old, already existing texture problems that we still have. Like you place down the same blocks, but they appear in a different edgy pattern, and UVs are screwed up, and that kinds of stuff. You know,
Yeah. Um,
more blocks, of course.
what is there? Are there any particular shapes that you'd be interested in as far as blocks are concerned?
Yeah, but how to describe now on this video?
Well,
There's Captain Caveman did I think it was a 3-parter video on
yeah.
YouTube. Yeah, he pretty much covered a lot of my blogs on my wish list. Yeah.
Okay. I would definitely. So me, for example, I'd definitely like to see some sharper lines, like a 11 and a quarter degrees, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's why. Exactly. That's why I was recently building more for Reforged Eden because of the ramp blocks. But unfortunately, they aren't textured in the same way like the rest of the blocks. So you always can see the borders of the ramp blocks, and they are limited to the stock color palette.
Hmm. Okay, let's see. Having a look here at this Lambo, man. I love this thing. This is just. And it's always a challenge with the smaller builds because you've only got so much space, right? There's only
Yeah.
so many blocks you can put out, and this thing just looks great.
Yeah, it also works. It was practical back in the day.
Yeah. It's like it would be a good starter. Got some harvest potential there.
Yeah, of course.
Beautiful.
And I don't recall why I did build it. did. I'm not sure. Was it also part of one of Xcal's challenge? I'm not sure. Yeah, it was. It was a replica challenge.
Oh, right.
Build something that's a replica of something in real life or something like that. And I was into sports car. Especially Lamborghini is one of my favorite car design back when, not necessarily now, but when I was in my my 13, 14 age,
Yeah.
I had posters all over my walls with Lamborghinis, and yeah. And the Countach is the most iconic cars of the 80s, of course.
This thing's got a lot of good function in here too.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
So then we have the MXZ here.
Yeah, that was actually, if you are familiar with this one, this was actually an April Fool's joke between me and Jay. So the thing was, he would build a thing that looked like one of my builds, and I did build this one that looks like one of his builds, and then we both released it to the workshop at the same day, 4th of April, and we just were curious what would happen.
Well, so which build did he do? I don't think I've seen that one.
He did the interpret, I think was the name.
Definitely captured his interior aesthetic. It's
Yeah, and he did capture mine. That
you,
was pretty amazing. Yeah.
you got his color palette, you got his naming convention here with the MX.
Yeah, of course. And I'm pretty sure that was the first time that he ever used carpet on one of his builds.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So then we have the Purgatory here.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite as well. That was I think it was my third supercar-like SVs. And I wanted to give the feel when you enter, you are entering some sort of high-end Lamborghini Diablo design with red lights everywhere. It's evil, it's mean, it's powerful, it's fast, luxurious.
Yeah.
And it was really fast. I'm still laughing. Well, it was way too expensive for a starter SV, of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, high profile.
It's a sports car. Of course.
Yeah, it got some decent armor. It looked like you're pretty strong in a strafe thrust too. Pretty good.
Of course, yeah.
So then we move on here to the Chevalier.
Yeah, that was the first so-called supercar. Mine. This was the first high-performance SV that I built. Also with exclusive-looking interior, cashmere color, and stuff like that. That was shortly after Elion introduced the new color palette, where you could configure your own color, you know.
Oh yeah. Cool little lead up to the cockpit there.
Yeah, thank you.
Here we have the Adriatic Princess.
Yeah, that was a pain to build. Yeah.
Very good cell on the antenna work. Looks really good.
It's a flying cruise ship.
Flying cruise ship. I'll go ahead and change the lighting.
And it's an SV.
A very big one.
Yeah.
I don't think I've made anything this big, as far as SV is concerned.
Yeah, the entrance is in the front.
Okay, I see.
And as we can see nothing because I guess the sensors aren't working.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, I had to
Power it on.
turn on every
Light.
lights. Yeah. This is the foyer over here.
Nice, beautiful. Some marble going on.
Of course.
Of course. It's a very sharp stairs.
Yeah, I know.
So we got staff only. Kitchen area. This is pretty cool.
Ah, you are down there. Okay. And if we go back to the engine room,
Oh wow, good, awesome. Look at
it's
that.
a V8 warp drive. And in the back you have the crew compartment.
Very good setting, man. I love that. Nice pipe work. Good mounting for that warp drive. So, yeah, so we're back here now.
And this is the
Got
crew quarters. Only the best for my people.
This is great.
Yeah, and I don't know, explore by yourself.
Conference room. Man, this thing is just massive. It keeps going on.
It is big. It has a sauna, it has a pool, it has a disco, it has a restaurant, a smoking lounge, several suites. Yeah, I spent quite a lot of time of it.
Presidential suite. So how long did this take here? How long would you say you
7
put it?
weeks.
7 weeks?
Yeah, something about it. Yeah. And half of it was built in survival. At least the other hull.
I didn't ever think it would be possible to get lost on an SV, but
Here you go.
here we are. Wow. Dude, it just keeps going still. Man,
There's also a theater in the back down there.
I'm sure there is. Gonna go ahead and guess that this is under CPU. Amazing, dude. Very. I'm saying now this is just getting me going for building a big giant SV. That's all that's doing for me. All right, so circling back over here to the Chimera we talked about earlier. It's kind of got almost has like a I don't know, like a Romulan or Klingon look with the swept wings, that sort of thing
It is
going.
the Chimera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. Yeah, maybe, but I came upon this idea when I was sitting in my office at work, and I thought, well, I want to build something cool in Empyrion. As I mentioned, this was my third build, my third ever build in Empyrean.
Yeah. This
And I
is
sat there and took my pencil and draw something, and I thought, hey, that would be cool if I could do the nacelles, the engines over there, and blah blah blah. Somewhere I still have that scratch. That I don't know where. I recently have seen it. And yeah, and then I tried to replicate my ideas that I made on the paper, and then realize it inside the game. And it had to be asymmetrical and some sort of double window front. Yeah, and the rest was plenty of time involved.
Hey, do you remember what you put in for the entries for the Dubrovnik Dynamics Intercom quick dial here? Do you remember who you have on your
Yeah, there was some crazy girlfriend, I guess, former ex-girlfriend that haunted that poor guy, poor commander. Yeah,
ex-girlfriend, then you have an ex-ex-girlfriend, you got Lionel Richie.
yeah. Hello.
Mom's number one, Pizza Palace, Singe. All right, so now we're looking at the protagonist here. So what gave you inspiration for this?
Actually, this guy over here, the Mistress Starliner,
Yeah. Okay.
because I put in also a lot of interior and LCD work as well on this one. And I felt I had to do a better version of this. A
Okay.
much more sleeker version, yeah.
Definitely like the interior work in here. It's, so this would be the updated version, you'd say.
Yes, successor, yeah. Because the Mistress was well adapted by and accepted by the people, and so I thought, well, I can give you maybe a little bit better, newer version.
Yeah. Uh, so the
But
Paragons.
yeah, the Paragons, they are pretty cool. I love them really because I personally used them in 2 playthroughs on the Anvil server. And the one on the right is the Paragon Standard, which is available in different colors and also in 2 different shape versions. This one is pretty cheap to obtain. You can I used it as my first SV on the server.
Yeah.
And after that, you got the steroid version, which is much more powerful, and this is way too fast. I use this usually to collect stuff from my auto miners because it's really twitchy and fast. And I love the sports car look on this one. But surprisingly, I haven't got too much subs on both of those. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining.
It's stylish. It's got like a VTOL look to it with those outer fans.
Yeah. That was
I think
intended.
that yeah.
I wanted to make space for more interiorium and place the engines outwards.
Yeah. It kind of makes, it has like a kind of like an osprey feel to it if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The Pablo.
The Pablo is actually the private shuttle that is connected to the Escobar, this CV over here.
Yeah.
So if you let me start this thing and pull it up. Where's the bridge? I forgot. Is this even filled up? No. It doesn't move. Why?
Probably under CPU. Built for an earlier
No.
era.
No, it's not. It's not that I can't. Thrusters deactivated, maybe. Are
you in a passenger seat?
That could be a thing. No, I'm inside the cockpit. No.
It's not moving, huh? That's weird.
No, it's not.
It looks
Try
good.
yourself.
Let's see. You got enough lift? That's fine. CPU.
This is not an outdated version. This is fairly new. Well,
Yeah.
3 years or something.
Very strange.
Does it have any lift thrusters, maybe?
That would be... No, it's got lift thrust. Got some advanced there.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe the same phenomenon we had before.
Oh, okay, okay. We have... what it is a vessel is colliding with it. So one of these SBs.
Wait. Which one could it be?
It could be the Counterasa, possible.
Yeah, I was thinking about that one too.
This thing's got some speed.
Yeah, it's a sports car. What do you expect? No, it's not the... Let me spawn this elsewhere. Look, the Convictor also has collapsed. Here we go. So now take a seat inside the Pablo.
Okay, inside the Pablo. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right. I am in a passenger seat. Actually, let me get one that's forward facing. Okay, passenger seat.
No, you fly the thing.
Oh, you want me to fly it?
Nah, you are gonna fly because I'm
Okay.
directing you to your destination, which is the Escobar that is floating right, you know.
Okay, here we go.
Approach the Pablo from underneath and from the backside.
Underneath and backside. Okay.
And then you see it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty slick.
And yeah, now try to align yourself. Press the O key, go up. There should be sensors that recognize your vessel and display some LCDs when you approach. Yeah, there you have it. And now lock.
Should be some LCDs. Oh, okay, all right. It's looking at the
Now
inside.
you can exit your cockpit seat and enter the Escobar. If you are aligned the right way.
Very clever. Very clever.
I think you are.
Yeah, so this is like before modules were made. Yeah, this works.
Yeah, this works. Yeah, see. Welcome aboard the MS Escobar.
Hey, thank you. Change the light.
This was my first approach to do a mega yacht type of CV.
Yeah, this is like, so I think this was kind of like when I first got an introduction to what CrazyZ was all about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Seeing this on YouTube. Seeing the Escobar and then just like seeing the interior work of this thing just look absolutely...
It was... Yeah, actually, that was at the time when I actually watched the Narcos TV show.
Oh, really?
That influenced me to build this thing.
Yeah, it's like
and now
just seeing this big opening here, man. Like seeing that in the video, and then just the way you had the presentation with it, it was awesome.
You have always to present the best thing at the end of the video.
So how long did it take you to make this?
I don't know. I really don't.
Too long ago, eh?
No, I'm not sure if this took me a long time, but do you recall every build time of each of your builds?
Not an exact number, but
Yeah,
an
because
approximation.
yeah, I don't know. Because I was already a little bit into building at that time, so I doubt that I would have spent over 2 years, 2 weeks for this one. No, I think it's not that big at all, you know.
The Miami Suite. Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, I
spent
was.
more time. I spent more time creating the music for the video than for building this one because that was the first time that I actually did some Latin American sounds.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was actually watching some other YouTube content. A couple people were doing a playthrough, namely Jay Hoosier and Tiki C, and like they're debating spawning in. They were talking about spawning in some of your builds, and I think it was Jay Hoosier made the comment like, "I always feel like I can't afford them." Not the in-game currency, but just like spawning in and being that it's so exquisite that
Yeah, that's the goal. That's
yeah,
always been my goal. I have established my own brand, and yeah, it looks expensive. It should be expensive, but it isn't in every case because I also build practical builds that look expensive, but that are still affordable resource-wise. You know,
yeah.
it's all about immersion.
I'm gonna have to build my space yacht at some point.
You have to do it, of course.
Hmm.
Yeah, you have the techniques. You know how to do it. You know, I've seen your Star Wars builds, especially the Imperial builds that are from interior wise, also already looking sleek and pricey. You know.
Just gotta use those wood panels. That's it. Um,
Yeah.
so Desecrator.
Also a challenge build for Excel. This was actually my first, yeah, battle CV build.
Actually holds up
But at
actually holds up
mhm.
pretty good as far as the survivability. The devices and stuff, those have all been compartmentalized, it seems, because I used it as a target. I was doing a
Ah, really?
yeah, as you
What?
yeah. Well,
Oh,
it
yeah.
just happened to be out there. I mean,
I just
no,
happened to be. All right. I got you. Yeah.
no,
All right.
hear me out, hear
Yeah,
me
go
out.
on, go on. Yeah, yeah.
Nah,
Tell
I
me more.
mean, it wasn't the only target. I had some of my
It
ships
was
out
a
there too.
revenge for the toddler, or what?
No. This is actually before we were chatting. Like I had this.
Oh, oh,
I had it
makes
spawn.
it even worse.
No, I had it spawn in, and I shot at my own vehicles too. But I think this was when I was doing the working on the adjudicator or something, like really early stages, or maybe it
How
might have.
long have you been? How long? How old is the adjudicator already?
Well, I mean, it's kind of on and off. Like, if you ever build something and you set it to the side and then come back to it later, do you do that, or is that just
Eh,
everybody
no,
else?
no. Yeah, they are. I had 3 to 4 builds that I over the time renewed and then re-released on the workshop. Yes, but not that I'm building on a particular build for ages. No.
Well, it's like I don't know. I'll get going on something and then I'm not feeling it. I'll set it to the side, or maybe it's at a point where
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
could be
yeah.
LCD work, and then I'm like, I don't want to do LCDs, and so I'll just set it to the side or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's like so. In the case of the Nebula B frigate, I had it completed, ready to go to the workshop, and then this was before the Reforged Eden patch, which added the shield extenders happened. So then all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I don't have space for anything.
Yeah, same would go for this build, of course. Yeah. Yeah, actually, Xcal tested this on live stream where all the other authors had to because no. Let me correct this. Xcal and some moderators were flying all those contributors builds and tested it out against Xerax, I think, and this one held up pretty good as far as I remember. And the people were laughing. Yeah, fight the Xerax in style. Mm. But I built it just for the challenge. But yeah, I released it to the workshop. Otherwise, I wouldn't have installed any kind of weapons because I tend to leave it up to the player to choose what kind of weapons they want to install.
I love this angled hull with the glass ribbing on the top of it. It's like this is like one of the biggest eye catches for me when I was originally looking at it. And you get the uh different like pastel colors going as you
Yeah.
transcat.
Oh, this bridge. I remember now. This bridge took me ages to build. This lifted bridge, with the hollow place beneath, and
Yeah,
that was really a pain to build.
it's a cool wraparound though.
Mhm.
Good glass panorama on it. So then we're taking a look at the. Well, let's take a look at the opulence.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah, there's a lot to explore, but you don't have the time for this. And
yes,
this was a completely free design by me. As I told you before, I just wanted to build something with two big hanger nacelles.
yeah,
And what I did was really I started building one hanger with a mirror mode. I started at the back of the ship, and then from there on, I wanted to have a bridge, a ramp section that leads to the center of the ship up. That was my main goal, and after that, it evolved in something I don't know, much more bigger.
I feel like I'm at an aquarium. This is great, man. I love this. Very nice. I like. Wow, that's cool. With the glass framing there, that looks great.
Yeah, this one took me also weeks. Yeah. Yeah, I love the main hall with the sculpture in the middle.
Yeah, it's really is a really good centerpiece.
Yeah, it looks like you would suppose to see if you enter a big cruise ship, the main atrium, and I think Jay Randall called it a. You would expect to see such a architecture in a theater.
So this has got what 7 hangars? How many hangars does this thing have?
Yeah, I guess it has 5 hangers.
5.
Yeah.
Impressive. Take a look at this bridge area here. So, Dubrovnik Dynamics your brand name? What does that come from? Is that a callback to your name or?
No, it comes back. It's because I'm half Croatian, half German. So my father's Croatian, my mother, God bless her, she was German, and I feel tied to Croatia. And Dubrovnik is a very popular town or city in Croatia, if you know.
Okay.
It's an old medieval town surrounded by a big, still intact fortress wall. and it's also a location to TV shows like Game of Thrones and Star Wars and Caillou
Really?
Row. Yeah,
That's cool. I didn't know
it's
that.
very famous even for rich people for visiting and cruise ships and yachts and all that kind of stuff. And then I thought, hey, since my first few builds that I released to the workshop, lots of them had some creation names. I thought, well, let's call the brand Dubrovnik Dynamics. I looked up onto Google, does this brand already exist? And no, it didn't. So why not? Because Croatia, especially the Dalmatian coast, is one of the um, most famous areas for cruising around with your sailing ships, yachts, and motor yachts and stuff like that. It would make sense to have a Croatian yacht company stationed there, even in 300 years in the future.
So we have the Locron over here. This is a prefab, right?
Meanwhile, it's a prefab, yeah. Lokrum also is referred to the island that is opposite, straight in front of Dubrovnik.
Oh wow.
And I decided to give it the name because of the shape. It looks like the island of Lokrum. If you Googled it up and take a look at the island, the shape of the island, it looks like this build.
That's a cool tie-in. I see this often in on servers. This is pretty popular as far as like the prefabs
Yeah,
go.
it stood the test of time, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, obviously, the alien devs have they did some changes, of course. I wasn't involved in it. They changed it for the workshop for the prefab to still be up to date.
So the shore. This
The
is
show was my first base build after the new color palette was introduced. So that was the first build where I could decide which color to choose.
yeah.
Mix up my own color palette.
Very extravagant, very glassy.
Yeah, I love glassy places. The same thing here. We have the standard steel texture. This is not how it was intended to be.
Yeah. Yeah. As far as your builds, you definitely got a lot of RP value and immersion. I know that's going to be a thing that will catch hearts because there's actually a good segment of the population out there that really gets immersed in it, doing the RP stuff.
There are a lot of people that do complain about it on my workshop site also.
Oh, really? There's people that
Yeah, of
are
course.
against
Yeah,
it.
but man, I do what I do. I build stuff that
Hmm.
looks appealing, and I also do build practical builds, and I always try to combine both sections.
Yeah,
This one, in particular, this base is, I think, it's way too expensive to build. Right, I don't know. I I built that build when I never played. I haven't played survival for I don't know 3 years. So I have just built for the workshop.
that's that's freaking cool. It's like something you'd find in the sea, right? With just the coloration, the shaping, and stuff.
Yeah, that's because it's called the shore. The wave theme, wave
Yeah,
shaping, the colors. Yeah,
I'm thinking like a deep sea creature or something.
yeah, maybe that too.
uh, okay, so we're gonna have a look at the Emperor of the Stars here. Very
Yeah,
beautiful.
this is one of my favorite, of course. Yeah, because this is the first time that I was able to pull off some real yacht type shapes because of the Reforged Eden exclusive ramp blocks, the steeper angles, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually started this build, the cockpit section, the upper section, as an SV, actually.
Really?
Yeah. But then I realized, yeah, the windows, the space was way too huge and yeah, way too small to make it a functional SV. So I decided to copy and paste the blocks onto a CV platform. And yeah, then the thing got bigger and longer. And actually, I started building this front section, the nose section, in vanilla
Hmm.
with the more
22 and a
um,
half.
yeah, the common blocks, and it looked kind of too short and odd. So I decided, well, I might go Reforge Eden exclusive and do the ramp blocks.
It seems to have been the wise decision here.
Yeah, thank you. And I actually used this one in my, still using it on the server.
Yeah. Absolutely massively opulent.
Yeah, but this is a late game build here. It comes already at core 9 and a little bit over CPU if you spawn it in your game. So you have to do some work.
Now, so when you're building something like this, are you thinking of like cramming in as much guns as possible, or is that just like, you know?
Now in this case, I really I started just wanting to build some sort of mega yacht, but on an SV platform again, like I did many times before. But then after figuring out this won't work, I decided, yeah, make it a CV. And when I realized, hey man, this has plenty of space inside, I decided, yeah, maybe this would be actually one of my first real hybrid CVs that can hold a lot of guns and shield parts as well as looking fancy.
Definitely, it's so spacious. Like, I guess maybe, so that might be my hesitation with building something like a yacht is like, I just have a compulsion to try and get function in. You know, as far as like the exterior, I'm fine with aesthetic, but something like this, man, it's hard to resist. But you know, you're definitely a niche within the community that people enjoy. So it's not like they wouldn't meet with some success if if I decided to pursue that route, the luxury route. But
Yeah.
it's so great, man. It's such good on the execution. Like the stage here, that's fantastic. Just I I remember seeing like the first time seeing the tennis court, man. I'm like, man, just perfect execution of the lines.
Tennis court wasn't. It was the tennis court actually was ripped off of one of my older builds. That was a big space station. That
Oh,
was the thing where I put this thing the first time in.
yeah,
But I had the place on this, the space, the room for it. So I thought, well, why not? So the stage is a first entry for me. I never did that before, and also the wet pool, the wet bar
yeah.
in the back.
It's ridiculous. You got a freaking wet bar in here, man.
So, but speaking of putting as much guns and shields as possible, that's why I built the Convictor. Also for Xcal's actual challenge. Um, Otherwise, I wouldn't have built something like that because I hate doing CVs because it's so much time and so much effort you have to put in, and especially if you're a perfectionist like I am, I know where I'm dragging myself into every time, and I hate it.
Yeah. Now, see, so this is like a case where something like this, the Emperor of the Stars, where I see that there would be potential within the game to justify a build like this. I've talked about it before. If they had some sort of it's a space travel game. If there was some sort of like passenger system where like an airliner system where you could,
I
get.
wouldn't necessarily talk about passenger systems, but make it a faction and make the appearances of those kind of ships very rare, like a rare spawn in like World of Warcraft. And if you're lucky enough to find one of these mega yachts, you can board them and rob them. How about that?
Well, so that's one thing, but that's just kind of like, panties to the idea of like, imagine if the game were okay. Well, you utilize the idea of colonization and travel and stuff. Like, imagine if you get like credits or resources or something for filling up passenger seats and then
Yeah.
delivering the people to a destination. So you just look at it like the Emperor of the Stars. You have all this extravagance. You got seating and beds and stuff like that. You could take something like this and justify a role for that build. Like you
Yeah, sure. But
stop at a space station, pick up some passengers, and then your mission
yeah,
is
but there would be a need for much broader audience, more players, and more multiplayer aspects. And,
right.
we have the same type of ships in, for example, in Star Citizen or in Elite Dangerous, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Nobody uses, for example, the jump. What is it? 980,
Yeah.
980. Uh, just as a status symbol, not for actual gameplay.
Well, but is that gameplay even fleshed out in a game, or is it still being developed? Is it still being
It
developed?
should be. It should be.
Right. So, well, that's the thing. Like, if you make an economy around it that makes sense, for the
Yeah, but you
passengers.
you would have to have at least 20 people that are willing to pay for immersion inside the game to board this ship and to travel from one planet to another as a passenger. And as a passenger, it's boring. You want to play yourself or not?
No, no, I'm not talking about player passengers. I'm talking about NPCs. You would go to the space station and you
Yeah, right,
pick up
right, right.
pick up you pick up NPCs as like a mission or something like.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, that's okay. Then I would like to refer you back to Elite Dangerous. We have that. You can pick up passengers. You can outfit your luxury dolphin vehicle or any other kind of passenger vehicle and fit it out with luxury suites, and then they pay more. Yeah, that is already a thing inside Elite Dangerous.
Right. So I would love to see that brought here because then
Yeah,
that
sure.
gives, as a builder, that would give us another reason to build, and then players would be able to experience a new mechanic to the game. All right, so let's take a look at. So we have some HVs down here. Have the micro hub.
The micro hub was another um business failure.
Business fit.
Yeah, I did it. I did use it also on the playthrough, and it served me really, really, really well. But the people, the audience, didn't like it.
I don't know. Looks pretty cool to me, man. It's got a lot of function for the cost.
It's cheap, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not too bad. Hmm. You got a harvester on the front. Looks pretty practical. Figured it'd be more successful. It's got a nice look to it.
Yeah, shit you not, it works.
Well, actually, what is this elegancy? Kind of like a speeder here.
This
It's
is
like a-
the smallest HV that I could pull off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Kind of has like the feel of a speeder bike, motorcycles.
Yep. It was a design approach just to make something look fancy but also cheap and functional. I'm not sure if it did work well because I haven't played with it on the server. I got praises for it, but I also got complaints about it, so I don't know.
Well, it has a roll of 300, so that's unmatched.
Yeah, but you know about the options to turn on the roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not an excuse. Come on.
Well, I see that as a pro. I like roll. So MS Mark III. This is your second release.
It's my second building because my second build because the first one was lost. So this is the first one I got actually on the workshop, but apparently this is not the version that I put on the workshop when I remember that I put it on the workshop. Now you have spawned it and downloaded it from the workshop, and it looks like the same screwed up version that I spawned. So I wonder how many years this screwed up version was on the workshop. Yeah, that might lead to the reason might be that I didn't have any clue how to work to upload things onto the workshop and how I would affect things that are already on the workshop when I overwrite stuff, you know?
Yeah.
hmm So yeah, this was practically the first dual usable workshop or SV build that I ever did. So
Oh.
you have your nice little seat, passenger seat in the background, right above the heat radiating warp core. Yeah, very convenient and
Now,
yeah.
I like the block work around the landing gear. It's kind of like it gives me like
This
some.
was just this was just when I didn't know heck I didn't know anything about shaping how the blocks function and this is what this try by error and it still looks awful. I don't know.
It gives me like Cessna vibes with that covering on the landing gear. Pretty
uh,
interesting.
I just wanted to cover up the landing gear. That's all to it.
But it's a cool look though. Um,
Thank you.
so last we have over here is the latest build, the Convictor. Talked about that earlier.
Yeah. It's if you start from the back again. I tend to build most of my CVs from the back on. You realize this cockpit, this hangar. It's the same as in the Emperor
Yeah.
because I liked that design so much that I thought, well, let's reuse it. And then, yeah, the Excalibur challenge was up to date, and he wanted to force us all to build a specific type of combat CV. So I started to spawn this hangar, and then I wanted to have spots for all the shield devices. Uh, Before I start building the rest of the ship, I wanted to make sure that all of the devices that I need for such a kind of build in place, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where I started to build those nacelles, those outer engine rooms. And yeah, from there on, I then was clueless. I've been clueless. Yeah,
Hmm.
the whole thing looked like a brick, and then I thought, well, most of big CVs on the workshop look like kind of brickish because it's practical. You know, you can put on a tons of weapons on it. You can land your other CVs on it in a flat on a flat top and stuff. Yeah, let it be brickish. But I thought I saw some also brickish yacht designs in real life in the real world that I saw. Yeah, maybe I can make it a designer brickish looking thingy, you know. And so the other hull shape evolved to kind of some designer thing. I don't know.
I think it's cool that you've got like the dedicated engineering rooms here. It's a really cool immersion cell.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that the player finds the spots for the additional devices
Yeah.
without the need of most of the times when I build CVs, I leave open spaces left for the player to decide where to put in things, but I don't decorate the stuff, you know. I just leave it plain white, just blocky. This time I didn't. I felt like yeah, let's give it a little more aesthetics, but still leave room for all those parts.
Yeah, I tend to do that. I tend to put in dummy blocks for people to take out. Now, but when you run into situations like you're trying to make some sort of contraption for a space holder, talking about like a fusion core, fusion reactor, then it really becomes laborious. Like
Yeah.
that's what I did on the Deathwing. I ended up making some sort of monstrosity of blackwork to be a placeholder for like a fusion reactor or a large shield
Yeah, and I
array.
don't like that. I don't like that, but neither do I like leaving open space, just block space. But I did it because I thought, well, it's easier for the people to see the empty space than to figure out which block to remove. You know,
Right.
and same goes on in the front. If you follow me, I'm in the hangar.
Hmm.
So there's another spot in the front. This is for just the room is just reserved for a gravity generator and for additional thruster placement, but I still decorated it like it looks like some engineering facility.
No, that works, man. That looks
And
great.
I usually don't do this because I'm too lazy, or I want like to have the player the option to decide for themselves what to do with the space, you know.
Yeah.
But since I have enough empty space in the other compartments, I thought, well, let's decorate it.
Hmm.
And I see those decals have turned 90 degrees. Oh, that's interesting.
uh, Probably symmetry plane issues.
No, Elion maybe? Or is it a thing that I missed out? I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, and of course, the new dynamic shadow system gave me additional motivation to lighten up the place and put in some crates and stuff like that. Walkways.
And so we have a protected bridge here. So we have, okay. All right.
Yeah, that's a thing that I usually tend to do, especially on the Emperor, because I hate walking all the way up 5 stories to the main bridge if I'm in a hurry.
Would you would you say this is like a carrier of sorts with the
I
fly?
never intended to make it. I just followed the rules of X-Scale's, excuse me, challenge, and wanted to do a battle CV, but due to the size of the hangar and the additional hangar in the front with the side hangar doors, I would say it's a hybrid. It's a carrier, but also a multi-purpose CV.
I love it. I think as far as like the exterior aesthetic, I really like it. I think that's one of your better designs.
Oh, thank you. Means a lot. Thank you.
So are you working on anything right now?
No, I am exhausted. Yeah, this one took me over 3.5 weeks to build. Yeah, I need a break. And plus real life stuff that I'm dealing with at the moment, it's hard to get back. Even I would like to play on the Anvil server again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no time. And I just got to the point where I upgraded my Emperor to the point where I could easily take out any matrices here, drone capacitor matrix. But I didn't yet test it out because of lack of time.
Hmm. All right, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to give you an interview. It's been nice chatting with you, learning some things that I didn't know about the band. Um, any parting words for the audience?
Yeah, keep on buying the expensive products of Dubrovnik Dynamics. Appreciate. Thank you. No, just feel free to use all my builds and modify it to your own needs, because there were always some people that asked me for permission to if they would be allowed to modify my builds. Of course, that's what the workshops is for, and steal ideas from other people. That's how I did start myself. You know, I stole from Jay Randall, from Key, from other authors as well.
Yeah.
This is all about inspiration and yeah, and creativity.
I would say, yeah, I would say steal is a strong word. Inspired for sure. Um, definitely. Now, um, so you have nothing planned here in the immediate future. That's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure. You know, you don't. You know yourself. You wake up one day. You wake up. You have an idea. You have immediately fire up the game and start building.
you're right. You see
This is
something.
something that will occur for sure within the next 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's in my blood, in your blood as well, and yeah, it's addictive, fun.
Yep.
What else can I say?
No, you definitely nailed it. Fantastic build. I love your theme. I love your style. That luxury feel to it. Very beautiful. Again, thank you for the opportunity to interview you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for this episode of Artist Behind the Art with CrazyZ. Until next time, LyfeForce out. Hello, folks. If you enjoy my content, if you enjoy my builds, please consider becoming a patron today. As a patron, you get access to custom builds of release works, early access to some builds before they hit the workshop, exclusive builds. You also gain access to direct feedback and engagement through polls, idea suggestions regarding builds before and after workshop release. If this interests you, please check out the pinned comment below. Thank you.